Care home marketing to get more inquiries. Here are my 14 brutal truths. And this is on the understanding that you're wanting to get more inquiries to your care homes, perhaps particularly private pay inquiries, because ultimately you want to increase occupancy faster. Well, here are my 14 brutal truths, starting with number one, which is care homes no one knows about you. Shocking, yes, because the reality is that most people out there do not know anything about care homes. They may pass a care home when they're driving through their local town, but the truth of the matter is that no one knows about you. Certainly, as I mentioned, not as much as you think, which is important to know. Okay, there are caveats on this, of course. Your people, those who are referring you, will know about you, but the population at large, you are not a Tesco, you are not a Sainsbury's, you are not a post office brand, you're not Fiat. No one knows about you, but they will need you when they have a loved one that requires care. So, what that means for you is that, yeah, 100% understand and get that you'll be getting referrals and, recommendations for those who know about you. They might recommend you to someone who's looking for care. But those who are looking for a care home, they will 9 times out of 10 not know you, and they will not know anything about you, which means that in one sense is in your favor, because when they are looking for a care home, you are, really equal to everyone else. The playing field is in some sense level in that respect. So what that also means is that, bearing that in mind, it means that whoever you are, whether you're again a big corporate with hotel facilities or a smaller family-owned care home, that is you are in many sense on an equal playing field in that respect. So that's number one. Now, number two is there will always be something special about you. And I don't know what you think, but I'm amazed at the same words and the same descriptions are used when I visit your care home websites. It's very rarely that I get apart from obviously the photos of the home and the grounds, that I get an understanding of kind of what's special about you. But there always will be something special about you. So I think if you can think about how you can convey that, certainly when people who are visiting your website for the first time, because remember, no one knows about you, it helps become much clearer to them. Now, certainly if you are, signature or hallmark, for example, then you might be able to convey your gorgeous dining rooms and hotels, for example, via your photos. But again, if you are a smaller home, there you may pride yourself as that you have a manager who's been there for 20 years. Perhaps you have a very family-run ethos. Perhaps you've been working in the care sector for many years. Perhaps you have a close-knit team. Perhaps you have a dedicated team. Or perhaps, that again, there is that feel to your home that makes you different. And I do repeat, there is something different about you. And if you can convey that, certainly, for example, via your website, which will be a first impression for someone who is perhaps wanting to find a home. If you can convey that, that's certainly going to set you apart. And I think, those care providers that I speak to care providers the whole time, and those who have a very, very clear mission, and that's usually from the owners or the CEO, depending how whether you're a single home, small group or a large group. What makes them different and special is very, very clear from the vision that they set. So that's well worth attending to, is to that vision, because that vision will then filter down not only, of course, to how you run your home, but also to the impression that people may get, for example, on your website. It may be have you particular emphasis on particular activities, or you have great particular, perhaps you have great particular community links. But there will be something special and unique. And I think if you can make that as clear as possible, that will certainly be in your favor when it comes to generally marketing your home and promoting what you do. Number three is that having an attractive website is easy. And I have focused on the website because that often is the first impression that someone will have, when they are thinking of making an inquiry to your care home. They may well almost certainly go and have a look around. But having an attractive website that makes people go, oh, that looks like a lovely care home, I should make an inquiry, is very easy. When I say easy, you can go and look at some of the most fabulous looking websites for care homes, and there's no reason why you can't replicate it. I'm not saying you replicate it identically, of course not. But what I'm saying is that, again, some of the top end care home websites, you can say to your designer, okay, I would like something looking like that. I have done separate videos on how to make your care home website irresistible. Check out this channel to go and find that website. But the message I want to convey here is a care home is going to be, a minimum of a £1 million revenue business. So take the time and effort to make a good looking website. With appropriate call to actions, that's CTAs, because what you want to convey here is that you are only do you look an attractive care home for someone to make an inquiry, something special about you, but it gives a good look and feel on your website. And so you want to make it as much as you can irresistible for them to make that inquiry. And I speak to many care home owners the whole time, and sometimes they will have designed their own website, and that's usually can be, to be honest, okay, but it's not usually good enough. So, and general recommendation, I would steer away from the free GoDaddies. Get something that's has more functionality, and also, to be honest, there again, I can make any recommendations on website designers who specialize in the care sector. So if that's something you're thinking about, just put some time and effort in, because it's not hard. Whatever you are, whether it's a small family-run care home or you're a top-end luxury care home in London, you can make a really good-looking website for your home, which I do repeat is important for that first impression. Number four is if you want to get anywhere between 30% or 1000% more inquiries, you have to be getting more inquiries from people who do not already know about you. It may seem self-evident, but to get that uplift, as I mentioned, anywhere between, again, depending on your capacity of your home, anywhere between 30 to 1000% more inquiries. You do need to very, very quickly get your care home known and seen and noticed amongst people who do not already know about you, but who are actively looking online for a care home. And we do know that 90% of families during the course of looking for a care home, particularly privates, will go online and search. That's research by Lottie, the care directory. And this ultimately means, again, if you want that uplift to say, I do repeat, between 30 and 1000%, then you will need a Google pay-per-click engine to drive those inquiries. Particularly, as I mentioned, from people who do not already know about you, which is absolutely clear. And Google pay-per-click is really the main way to make sure that you are capturing interest, visits, and inquiries from families who are actively searching online. Again, I've done many videos about this on the channel. Make sure you go and have a look, and you'll see. I do like to give all my expertise and knowledge on all the videos that I do produce. So go and have a look at the number of videos on Google pay-per-click and digital marketing as an engine. Number 5 is be above average occupancy. Be above average occupancy. The average occupancy is 86% for care homes in England, certainly at the time I'm doing this video. And it can be a bit of a secret sauce because if you are above 86%, your profit margins, and you'll know the numbers better than I do, but certainly for those care homes that I speak to, the profit margins proportionally better for that care home once occupancy becomes above 86%. Why? Because the proportion of your staff costs is less often when you are above 86%. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're 86% occupancy, you have 2 or 3 more residents. You may not need another staff member for those 2 or 3 residents, so that lifetime fees for those two or three residents, maybe well over 300k. So and that's going to be the higher proportion of that will be profit. And of course, the more, in many ways, the more profitable you are as a care home, and the more you are able to invest in your great care teams and your great care, and just making the numbers much more satisfactory for you. So that's why it's worth considering how you can get to 86%, above 86%, and putting extra special effort to, as I say, be above average, increase that occupancy above, on average, that 86%, because financially it will be in your interests, and therefore, and something else that derives from that is, okay, the cost to acquire a new resident above that 86%, when larger proportion of it goes towards profit, it may mean that you will look and be happy to invest more to get those new residents. Again, I'm talking about residents and families who do not already know about you, because if they already know about you, you're going to get those inquiries anyway. So again, when it comes to marketing and PR, it's usually about making sure you get more inquiries from people who do not already know about you. Not always, but often that may be the aim. And number 6, and this is really related to what I was talking about before. There is, out of all the PR and marketing methods you have at your availability as an option for you, there's only one switch to turn inquiries on and off. And that ultimately is a paid digital marketing strategy. Number 1 would be Google pay-per-click ads, and number 2 would be Facebook ads. Do it properly, guarantee more inquiries. You can switch it on and off. Now, the important element here is that it is, and I'll come to one of the other points a little bit later about tracking, but I can just start to mention it here, is that through digital methods, you are able to track. And that's why I say it's a switch you can turn on and off. Now, that's not to say, in fact, I know and speak to many care home providers who do the leaflet drops, for example, and you can have codes or promotional codes on the leaflet drops where you can, in the same way, track how many inquiries you're getting from a particular campaign. But again, the sending out the leaflets, there's a bit more time involved. It's not like switching a digital switch, which again is Google and Facebook ads, to get kind of pretty much guaranteed inquiries faster. So that's a subtle difference. I hope you appreciate that. But that was the point I was wanting to make for those who are thinking about that. The digital marketing methods is an option for you. Number seven on my brutal truths about care home marketing is journalists love good care home stories. Why is that so important for you? Well, what that means is, it means that if you want to disseminate the good news stories about your care homes, and I know you have plenty of those stories. Regional journalists, I'm talking about regional journalists, journalists serving the media for your catchment areas, will love those good news stories coming out from your care homes. We work with care homes the whole time on this. And whether it's activities, whether it's your great personalized care, whether it's your team members who love working as care workers, whether it be intergenerational stories or pet therapy or some very notable dementia-related story around, for example, reminiscence from one of your residents. The journalists in your catchment areas will love those stories, which means, remember right from the very top, I was talking about how, you are not known as a brand in the same way, of course, as Tesco's and, Fiat and Coke, for example. But what makes you different and special is that you send your good news stories for your local journalists and they will write about you. And any single care home in the UK can get positive news about their care homes in the press anywhere between 1 and 3, anywhere between once per month and once every 3 months, depending upon your catchment area and depending upon the media. Again, on this channel, I give many examples of the kind of stories that you can be pitching to the press. But what is really in your favor here is that there's a huge public and healthcare interest. You are looking after our nation's elderly and infirm, and you have a specialism in looking after our nation's elderly and also dementia. And also, you are often, of course, looking after and caring for local people. So again, you've got that local angle for your regional media. And also, you tend to have very powerful human interest stories. Very, very, heartwarming stories, whether it be a resident celebrating their 100th birthday, for example, and how you maybe did something special for them. That in itself can be a very, very heartwarming story. So again, there are many, many opportunities for you to be regularly covered in a positive way in the press, and that way increasing your profile and reputation as a way to make sure your reputation is amplified. So that's number 7. And number 8, it still shocks me how care homes don't communicate or thank those who are referring them residents. By that I mean GPs, healthcare professionals, nurses, hospital discharge teams, physiotherapists, dementia care charities, those people who, quite frankly, are providing them, giving recommendations to your homes, and are also ultimately providing millions in fees via their recommendations. And I really would urge you, if you're not doing it already, to make sure that you are regularly in contact with them. I call them your influencers, your VIPs. And you'll know who they are, commissioners as well. They may come into play depending on what your breakdown is on local authority and privates. But these are people who, essentially providing millions in fees. So make sure that you are communicating them at least via email with an e-shot every so often, just telling them about all the wonderful things your care home is doing. It's not an email where you're talking about the numbers of beds you have, but it is communicating regularly with them about sharing the great news. Because in that way, I bet you know other care homes in your catchment areas are doing this. B, you will have a little bit of an extra special place in their heart if you are the care home that's sharing with them all the wonderful things that are happening in your care home, that they are helping you to financially conduct your business and do well as a care home. So I really would recommend that's something that you think about. And to be honest, once you have that email list, maybe 100, 200 people, it's 15, 20 minutes to draw up an email. So considering the importance and significance these referrers, these VIPs have for your care homes, that's something I would 100% encourage you to think about. Number 9 is you really are care experts. And sometimes I don't feel that you make a big enough point about that. And also, you may well be dementia care experts, depending again from what I was talking about at the very beginning, what your uniqueness is. But you essentially, as I said before, are looking after our nation's elderly. You are, to be frank, the experts in caring for our nation's elderly in your catchment area. So whether that be doing webinars, whether that be doing interviews, videos from your manager, for example, talking about a particular subject that may well be, the importance of reminiscence therapy or how activities provide stimulation for elderly people, whether that be physical or mental stimulation. Whether that be webinars, again, online webinars for your local communities on dementia, or how best to help elderly people with particular ailments. You can really position yourself much more strongly in ways perhaps that you've not thought up to now, which can, just by positioning yourself as experts, can make strong headway in how you promote and market your homes. Most managers and their deputies and their activities people will be just doing their job, but they are real experts in looking after our nation's elderly. And the more you can make of that, it may be just a monthly 300-word blog, or it may be, just the occasional reflections via video that a manager may have, which he or she could put again on that website and link to their Facebook page. And then also send that video to maybe your local BBC reporter for the radio or to their local press. So what I'm getting at here is, I hope you can see, is maybe pushing the boundaries a bit about what you maybe feel comfortable with. But if it's about promoting your home and marketing your home, you have a huge amount of knowledge and expertise which you can use as a way to position yourself as an expert and ultimately help promote your care home. And it can be fun to do that as well. Number 10 on my brutal truths about care home marketing. This is more a kind of a sales aspect, but again, I speak to care home owners and providers the whole time, and many are very good at following up inquiries and handling inquiries, but many are not so good. So, but generally, it's follow up. It responds to inquiries faster and follow up more. Again, I have done a video on this channel about on our 6-step guide to following up care home inquiries. So there's more details on that for you to have a look at. But it's certainly something that if you are wanting to increase your conversion rates for inquiries, and of course, let's remember that a care home resident can be worth anywhere between 50 to 300,000 in terms of fees. So treating every inquiry like gold dust is certainly something I would encourage you to do. So it's certainly something that I've noticed is that following up inquiries quicker, by that I mean if an inquiry comes in, you're following up within the hour and following up more often. Again, that can be up to 6 times. And again, on the video I have on this YouTube channel, it gives a cadence. I offer a cadence on how to follow up those inquiries. Because once you are more systematic about it, you're going to make sure you're not missing any calls, you're not missing any inquiries. And you are being more systematic because, as you know, the quicker you respond to inquiries, the better impression that you give. And again, there is a way to follow up inquiries that's appropriate. Ultimately, you're there to help, and you want to make sure that person who's looking for care for their loved one is going to get the best solution. And it's a great way to think about it, is to make sure that you position yourself as the person to speak to to make sure they make the right choice and help them make the right choice. That goes, and that also is related to what I was talking about a little bit further about you really are the experts. And as an aside, I've always thought that care homes can have better strategic relationships with home care agencies for them to help each other out on that care journey. But that's a topic for another video. And my number 11 is the CRM, again, that's a customer relationships manager system for tracking inquiries, for noting them down, and having a system. Yes, it may be an Excel spreadsheet that you've been using. And, to be honest, I'm not particularly averse to those people using an Excel spreadsheet as long as it's completed and as long as it's systematized. With CRMs, you are able to systemize it a little bit more often, and it depends on the size, whether you're a single home, whether you're part of a group. But it is important to have some kind of CRM because you want to understand where your inquiries are coming from, how many you're getting per month. And it's only by knowing how many you're getting per month that you can understand, well, if I need to get 30, 50, 100% more inquiries, you really need to have that starting base to understand how many inquiries you are getting right now. Number 12, and again, this is related to the CRM, but it's so important that you track. You track where your inquiries are coming from. Now, some care homes and providers I speak to do this in different ways, but the better the handle you have on tracking where your inquiries are coming from, the best that you know what works on your PR and marketing. A certain number of inquiries are often via referrals, via word of mouth reputation. It's always interesting to know who is the mouth on that word of mouth, but then you can look at how many inquiries you're getting from your digital marketing strategies, and that's from your paid digital marketing, whether you might be doing leaflet drops, whether you are on the directories, for example. But that tracking is really important to really understanding not only how many inquiries you are getting, but where they are coming from. And then you can break down that proportion of local authority inquiries and private inquiries, for example. So tracking is absolutely vital. And what I would say, certainly on the digital marketing side, many care home providers I speak to say that they are, for example, doing Google ads or Facebook ads, but they are not able to track how many inquiries that they are getting directly from it. Well, the message I would like to convey, it is 100% possible to do that. Again, I've done more videos on that, and it's something that you must be doing. Number 13 is community engagement. It's so important, this community engagement. I was speaking to a dom care agency not so long ago. They're a big dom care agency and they have branches, and their branch is an office. That's all it is. It's not a care home, it's an office. And they were doing some kinds of drop-in invitation event, whether it just be a casual coming for coffee or drinks once every quarter. Systematized. And that was through a dom care agency. Again, a number of care homes I speak to, some of them do amazing community engagement events, inviting people in, having, doing webinars, engaging with their local charities, dementia cafes, for example, intergenerational events with their local schools, these kinds of community engagements. Because, of course, your care homes are part of your community. But I would say it is very important to, again, as much as you possibly can, systematize it into the running of your care home so it becomes regular. It becomes something that is not just done on an ad hoc basis, but is done, frequently and regularly, somewhere that I think probably just starting off and have it very clearly planned out as part of your plan on community networking and engagement is the community engagement events you have. It may be just making sure there's people, again, it could be anyone from commissioners to your GPs or to journalists or to financial advisors or solicitors coming in and inviting them for a lunch or a coffee or a tea or something like that. People who you've never been to a care home, but would consider them used to have as part of your community network to come in and visit your care home and to meet you as part really of promotion and spreading the words. And ultimately, this is marketing. It's just called community engagement. So that's my 13. Now, number 14, and this is a nice little final point, is for those care home providers, care homes who have embarked on a strategic, well thought out marketing stroke PR plan. They have, and this is according to our data, they will have 90% of the time more inquiries, more leads, increased occupancy, or a mixture of all three of those. That's 90% of the time. Yes, that is, to be honest, those who've we've helped and gone through, for example, our proprietary systems. But those are the numbers. It's 90%. So I want to have that as a final message for you when you are thinking about what to do exactly on going ahead with a marketing strategy or program. If you think about it properly, strategically, and by marketing, I'm not meaning just having a website, a carehome.co.uk listing, and a Facebook page. I'm talking about all those things I've mentioned up to now. Then you will, I know, be hitting that 90% number I've just talked about. So I hope that was useful. Please, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. Check out all the dozens of other videos we've had on care home PR marketing to help you get more inquiries. My name's Adam of Springup PR.